Entonces. ¡Ay! Permisar. Calmugarela, me cancines bar eso. Kylo, chero, que chilico.
Welcome everyone. Thanks for joining me today. Let's dive straight into a rather unusual story that's been making the rounds lately. The story revolves around a man named Angel, who had a particularly intriguing experience on May 1st, 2023. Now, picture this. You're minding your own business, fixing a truck in your backyard late at night, when suddenly something catches your attention. A bright light plummeting from the sky, ending with a big bang that sends shockwaves through your body.
I turn around, the only thing I see is a big light falling from the sky, and moments after, I feel a big impact and a bang, sort of like a big impact fall. And me and my brother looked at each other, and we were scared, but when that impact happened, it was sort of like a shock wave, like an out-of-body experience. So to say, when I tried to look at the object, it was all blurry, not my vision, but only the backyard area. Here's a Ring camera video. You can hear the bang. This is around the neighborhood, so here's the video.
Well, that's not all. After the impact, the whole backyard became blurry, and strange sounds of footsteps echoed around.
And I hear thousands of footsteps around me, and maybe a couple seconds later, the blurriness was gone.
And then Angel, along with his brother and father, claims to have seen beings towering around 8 to 10 feet tall. Can you imagine that? Angel has since taken his story public, causing quite a stir. Some are intrigued, some are skeptical, and others are downright terrified. Let's get into the heart of this strange tale.
Me and my brother went to go pick up my tools. Then my brother calls me, and he told me shakingly, "Look behind the forklift." So I look. Keep in mind I'm facing the forklift, and then I see the alien creature. So when I saw it, it was a tall, skinny, lengthy creature. He was a gray-greenish color, and when I looked at it in the eyes, my body just froze. Like the same experience as having sleep paralysis. Keep in mind I'm staring at him, and I look at his whole body, and he has a weird-looking feet and a big face and eyes, and you can see a big mouth. And I could hear his loud, deep breathing, and I could see his stomach moving. He would just stare at me. Seconds later, I can start moving again. And I start running towards the house.
Those 9-foot beings that Angel described. Now, Angel painted quite a vivid picture for us, didn't he? These entities he encountered, they're not your garden variety trespassers. About 8 to 10 feet tall, a thin build, and a somewhat greenish hue. Big eyes and peculiar feet. Quite the sight to behold. But here's where things get interesting. These descriptions, they've got some curious overlaps with reports of both Bigfoot and extraterrestrials. The height and thinness, it's kind of alien-like, right? But then the height, the feet, that's more on the Bigfoot side of things. A hybrid? Maybe? Well, we can't be sure. And their behavior, this isn't your typical fly-by-night UFO encounter. Angel talked about sort of paralysis, feeling like he couldn't move. That's a common theme in Bigfoot or alien encounter stories. So, what do we make of all this? Honestly, it's hard to pin down. Let's dive into the physical evidence Angel brought to the table. First off, the footage. It's kind of shaky, I'll give you that. But it's what we've got. The Ring camera and the cop's body cam both show the same thing. Something definitely went down. Then there's the weird blurriness Angel mentioned. Now, I'm no scientist, but that does seem odd, doesn't it? Almost like some kind of field distorting the view. Could it be some kind of tech the creature, or whatever it was using? Or was it just the shock of the event playing tricks on Angel's vision? We can only guess. And let's not forget about that creepy human-like scream. Bone chilling, right? Now, I've heard my fair share of Bigfoot calls and watched a truckload of alien flicks, but This one's new to me. It doesn't match your usual Sasquatch below or Hollywood's idea of an alien language. And so what the heck was it? It's a lot to take in, and I'm not saying I've got all the answers, but I do know this. There's more to Angel's story than meets the eye. Let's talk about the response to Angel's encounter, both official and from the community. Now, the police, they took this thing seriously, you know. Their body cam footage and quick arrival to the scene shows they didn't dismiss it offhand. But it's interesting how one officer even said, if those 9-foot beings come back, don't call us. All right, that's some real Twilight Zone stuff, right? Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. A guy on TikTok, Royce Kristen, he took us real deep dive into the footage, found some things that I bet most of us missed, and he's offering up a unique take, a fresh perspective on this event.
And I'm going to point out two things you need to pay attention to right here, which is the head. And if you look really close, there's actually a shiny black eye. And what you will see in about a minute is a hand. That, I believe, is some creature, non-human, crouching down. And that was its eye I just pointed at. And I want you to pay attention to
his analysis. It's got people talking. Kristen spotted some details that, let me tell you, will make the hair stand up on the back of your neck. So brace yourselves, folks. We're about to get into the nitty-gritty of this intriguing Las Vegas event. Let's take a moment to dive into that backyard footage.
what appear to be fingers running up the fence, as if it's kneeling down or something and peering out. And then there you go, see the fingers. And I think I go back and forth a couple times here, but it looks to me like there's a little other or a big creature looking through the fence on the bottom there, crouched down. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but you tell me.
Kristen took a good long look and pinpointed two intriguing spots: the bottom right, behind the fence, and the upper right area. So he's been playing detective in his findings. Pretty interesting, I gotta say. He suggests that there's a creature, something non-human, hiding down low, right behind the fence. He points out what looks like an eye, a shiny black one, and possibly a hand. He even implies that this creature appears to be peeking through the fence, with its fingers skimming up and down. But wait for it, there's more. Up top, right of frame, Kristen spots a shadowy figure.
There's actually a shadow figure. It almost looks like it's a dense, shadowy figure comes into frame. If you're looking right, at the three fence posts, if you're looking at the top right of them, you're actually going to see something that looks like a shadow figure that has density, and it's only there for about a minute, and
it just pops up momentarily like it's connected to our fence lurker. You know, whether this is just pareidolia or some other phenomenon, who knows? It's got us all scratching our heads. So the question stands, what was really hiding in that backyard? Could we be dealing with extraterrestrial entities here? I know it sounds outlandish, but isn't it fun to speculate? And given the high strangeness of this event, it's not entirely off the table. Now, I'm not a tinfoil hat guy, but with all of these UFO disclosures recently, one can't help but wonder,